If we want to know where to go, how to plan programs, and allocate funding in a meaningful way, we need to have a sense of where we've been, where we've made progress, and where challenges exist. Data is information that helps us make sense of what's going on. The more information we have from a variety of sources, the better picture we have. In this overview, we're going to talk about the different ways we get information, and we'll focus in on the type of data that we most often use to guide our work in HIV planning. Make sure you have something to write with because we're going to be asking you to jot down some ideas you have about how to use data. In everything we do, we have our own first person subjective experience. It is uniquely ours. For example, when you go see a doctor, you may feel nervous at first, and then feel comforted by the sound of the doctor's voice or the way the doctor relates to you, especially if you've had prior positive experiences with that doctor. The only person who really knows your subjective experience is you. Then we have second person shared information. These are stories we tell about our personal subjective experience to another person. What we choose to share or withhold and how we tell the story will impact the other person's understanding of our experience. For example, you may have an experience at a clinic and then tell a friend about it. When we share our subjective experience with another person by telling them a story about it, we create a new set of data, shared information between two people. What you choose to share or withhold and the way you tell your story will impact the other person's understanding of your experience. Finally, we can collect objective information from a large group of people, such as demographic information and evidence of care, like medical visits and lab values, to create a set of data that helps us learn about a group, a population, or several populations. We can look at patterns and trends to draw conclusions and make connections that can be useful for helping us create better, more responsive systems of care. This type of information is what most people think of when they hear the word data. Personal subjective experience, shared information, and objective data are all sources of information that can tell the story of our current environment and guide decisions for moving forward. If we only pay attention to one type of data, then we are missing important pieces that help us see the whole picture clearly. Our focus for the rest of this presentation is going to be on this third type of data, all the objective data that we could collect from around the state. As we discuss this data, remember that it's not the whole story. This kind of data can tell you what is happening. For example, what populations are most impacted by HIV, what health disparities exist, what parts of our system are working well, and what parts of our system are not meeting the needs of the communities trying to engage in them. But this data can't tell us why these things are happening. If we want to know why our systems aren't meeting the needs of communities, we need to talk to communities and ask them. Understanding subjective experiences influences our viewpoint. Bringing in all the stories we hear from communities helps us make sense of this objective data and helps us see the complete picture. So what can we do with data? Let's take a look at some of the different ways we all can use data. At a state level, data can tell us what populations and communities are doing well and who needs more support. Data can tell us where we need to enhance funding. Data can also tell us what interventions and services have the greatest impact on health outcomes. At a community level, data can tell us what populations and areas of our city needs more support. Data can help agencies understand the impact they're having on clients and can help them see what parts of their system are working and what pathways need to be addressed. At an individual level, data can help us understand who is engaged in care and meeting their health and wellness goals and who isn't in care and needs our support. Data can help us understand to what extent populations are getting their needs met and can point us in the direction of where we need a better understanding as we continue to adapt our systems to meet emerging needs. Data can also help us understand which of our services has the greatest impact on clients as they work to achieve their health and wellness goals. What else can data do to help you as you support clients on their path to wellness? Take a minute to write down a few other ways you can use data in your work with individuals. Now that we know the story data can tell us and how it can inform our understanding of our environment and planning and decision making at an individual, community, and state level, let's go to our next video and take a closer look at where we get our data from in Texas.